this is Roger, thanks for dropping by. A while back, a week or so, I did a video on a maple looking similar to this, and I referred to the sister tree because they were both got together as 6-inch sticks in pots quite a while ago. That was from Colette Southampton Trees, very long time ago. Well, an amount of time ago, I think it was 10, 12 years, I can't remember. But anyway, this is the sister tree and it's going to get exactly the same treatment. I'm looking for long extensions, long internodes, crossing branches, dead bits, and this is a pre-repot trim. The idea being that at the point I'm going to repot, which is after the initial surge of sap, yeah? So that's when the reserves of the tree that were taken down in the autumn have gone down into the base of the tree. When those have pushed up into the tree and started to push the leaves out, the job of all of that is done. That is quite a good time to disturb the roots because they've done their initial job. Now at that particular point you've got an energy deficit on the maple because the leaves don't photosynthesize until they've actually fully opened. So it's not getting any reserves in through photosynthesis and you've just disturbed the roots through the repot. So it needs a calm period. It needs to be kept relatively shaded, moist, not fed. You can feed it if you like, that's debatable. Some people say yes, some people say no. But you've got an energy deficit until the leaves fully open. But the idea of pruning now is to make sure that that surge of energy only goes to the places I want to keep and doesn't get wasted, basically. So that's the idea. Now I'm one of those who starts at the bottom, I'm afraid, not at the top. Tough. if you're a top down, then so be it. Quite honestly, I can't see it makes much difference at all. So at the moment, like I said, I'm looking for long internodes that don't do any favours for the tree, and dead bits, clusters, that's a load of branches very tight together, such that given the size of the leaves on this tree, they'll all cross over and bunch up together and won't look very nice at all. So they come off. Now this branch is heading backwards, back towards the base of the tree, so that can come off. It's just a taking back anything that when it opens will extend and won't look good. That's all I'm doing. And come around here, there's some, an internode that long is no good to man nor beast, so take that right back. There's a cluster here, too many branches in one place. Crossing branch there. It's just going through, trying to picture what this is going to look like when the leaves come out and where those leaves will be. And are they going to look right? Like here, there's a branch coming out, one on top of the other. But there was a reason for this lower branch because it pushed up a shoot at the end on what is a weak branch. So we'll leave it for now. Ridiculously long internode there, so we'll have that off. Same there, there's a pair there. Dead bit, heading back to the centre, heading across the centre. All these sort of things. There's a basic outline for this tree that has, well, let's put it this way, it's the tree extended past the outline last year, which is good, you know, that means it's nice and healthy and everything, but it's pushed the outline away from the trunk. Now that just needs pulling back in. Now I'm going to try and be brave this year with my 3 main maples. That's this one, the sister tree, and the Shoujo. And what I'm hoping to do with those is that as those leaves break, you will get a pair of leaves hanging out either side like that and a little shoot up the middle that will become the extension with the next pair of leaves. I'm going to take all of those new shoots out. Oh. I wonder what that noise was. It's my cat. He's dreaming. He has nightmares. Well, dreams, whether they're nightmares or not. And he just sort of, he's half awake and he sort of yowls to himself. But it's a strange noise if you're in the middle of doing something else. Daft cat. Still, they're getting on a bit now. They're 19 this year, my two cats. So they have a limited extension. Well, nothing lasts forever, and that's the thing. If you get pets, you just have to accept the fact that under normal circumstances they will go before you do. Yes, all right, we've made the noises now, we can stop. Right, that's got most of that. It's just a tighter field, the whole thing. And we come round to this one, crossing branches. Dead bit. Very dead bit. It's the trouble we've had, you know, that's, as winters go here on the south coast, we've had a bad one. We've had some quite long cold spells. Now a cold snap now and again doesn't normally do trees any harm, but when it persists and it goes on for day after day after day with daytime temperatures not coming up much above zero if at all, and nighttime temperatures down below zero, on and on and on, it can actually do some damage to your trees, cause dieback. You know, it doesn't do them any good over that period of time. That's the problem, it's the length of time. Yes, so this going over the trees, that noise in the background is my heater. You have to bear in mind, I'm working indoors because it's too cold to do it outdoors, and I don't particularly like talking to myself in the garden. The neighbours already think I'm a bit balmy, and that just gives them ammunition basically, standing in the garden talking to yourself. Right, that's that one done. As I say, this is only a rough trim. Now, this branch here is very large for where it is, but I don't want to take it off. It would leave a very, very bare patch. I mean, this is still debatable, which is the front and which is the back on this tree. I don't know why, but my mind always likes to see the first branch on the left. Now, that's some sort of bias that, you know, I mean, I've got a large gap here that's not very good. I could take this off and make that, but then I'd lose this bit here. What I'm hoping for with this is that it will shoot out, because if you look, that was a long extension. That was a long internode that got left, and left too long, so it's now part of the structure, and it doesn't look good. But nonetheless, it may shoot out farther back and allow me to push it. Yeah, you could say that was the front. In fact, yeah, I think I am going to make that the front. Simply because there's more of the top coming towards me. If you look at the top, I presume it's on camera, yeah, just about. The apex is all moving away, except for this branch, which is the one I was just going to start on, looking at it from here. Now, as I said, my mind likes to, God, look at that one I missed. And that one. Well, it's just looking at it from a different angle. There's bound to be some I've missed, basically, but the whole set there, that's obviously what I was talking. I'm getting distracted by cats making silly noises. Yeah, I think I'm going to revert to that being the front. It means more of the apex is coming towards us. These two branches are now slightly sloping away, or this one is. We may be able to do some adjustments at repot time. Yeah, so I think we'll we'll keep that little one there, because I do like to see some branches crossing over the trunk. You know, the main trunk line. If it's completely exposed, it can look a bit odd. It's nice to have, you know, some foliage going across it in a couple of places. There's a complete dieback on that branch, right back. Right, so up here then. The trouble when you get when the ramification starts to get, you know, to look like a more mature tree, there's a lot more to trim. And then you sort of think, I'm trimming off all the work I did last year in getting this ramification in the first place. But in amongst that ramification will be dead bits, long internodes and crossing branches, all that sort of stuff. And that it's just got to be thinned out, or you end up with leaves on top of each other and they're all squashed up and they don't look right. So you have to sort of spread it out a bit. Well, that's the way I like to look at it, just spread it out a bit. And when I come to pinch these later and take those initial flush of extensions that I want to take right off, across the board, the whole tree, it'll take ages. And my home shop this afternoon has got the pair of tweezers in it. That's the third pair I've bought. And let's hope we don't lose this one like we've lost the other two. I don't know. The trouble is they're so small. But this time I will put them with the bonsai kit. I don't remember where I put them last time. But wherever it was, I still can't find them. So we don't have any tweezers at the moment. And that job just has to be tweezers. You can't really do that with anything else. I'm not doing these a branch at a time anymore. I'm doing them in the outline. Look at this thing here. How did that get missed? Massive. Just looking at the outline now and making sure that we don't get things crossing over each other. Clusters, you know, half a dozen branches all coming out from the same point. That never looks good, especially as some of the centre ones often die back. They often seem to be the ones that die back. That'll do for that one. No, it won't. Look at that one. Just said it's so easy to miss them when you've got so much to look at. You get branch blind, I suppose you could call it. You're seeing them and not really seeing them for what they are, like shouldn't be there, or, you know, okay, leave that one. You just end up with a mass of branches. But they need space between them. They need space for where the leaves are going to come out. Otherwise, it'll just end up a jungle. And both of these trees, this one and the sister tree, ended up getting halfway through the year last year and they were nothing more than a bush. They were unsightly bushes. They'd lost all their shape. They didn't look like a bonsai at all. And I had to sort of reclaim, well, what you reclaim is the space. You reclaim this, the negative space, because without that you can't see the structure of the main trunk and it's just a bush. So we had to take some serious action and we did some serious hacking halfway through the year. And it worked, it brought back the shape, it looked okay afterwards. I'm just trying to get my outline sorted. I won't be doing much more than that now. We'll just get this outline back again. Gentle curve. take that off. That will make this a more prominent branch if I take this big chunk off here. And there is growth coming out from around this point. So the leaves will fill in the gap. Now that's quite a chunk to take off, but it just looks wrong now. It's also bolt upright, which doesn't help. And that one goes right across all the other branches, so that can come off. Yeah, it's put some space in the middle there now, and some of these leaves will go that way as well as this way, and some of these will come this way, some of these will go that way. That gap will fill in quite quickly. Take that back a bit. It's a bit sticking out. Just take that back in, it will heal over a bit better then. It's not going to do any healing at all this time of year. It's the trouble with pruning this time of year. It's all very well doing twigs and stuff like that, does no harm. But when you take a big branch off, the tree's in effectively a dormant state, so it doesn't heal, which means it's open to infections and things. You've got to keep your eye on them if you're going to take bigger branches off, if you haven't got cut paste, which at the moment I haven't, because I bought some and it's rubbish. So I need to get some. I need to get one of those tubes with the Japanese writing on it, because that's the good stuff. Okay, it sticks to your fingers when you use it, but it does the job, because it's not liquid, but it's in between. It's more, the stuff I bought was like actual putty, like you would use for glazing. Plasticine is the word I'm looking for, and it doesn't stick. You know, you spread it on a cut and it's just like sitting on it. It's not stuck to it. It's not, doesn't feel right. And I didn't like it anyway. So I'm going to get some different stuff. And that was me being cheap, unfortunately. So I looked at the price of the tube that I wanted and I thought, whoa, I'm not paying that. So we find something else, don't we? And then the something else that we find is not very good. So you ended up buying something that wasn't very good instead of paying a bit more money and getting a proper job. I think that's about it for now. I will revisit this when I come to do that pinching, because who knows, we may get another cold snap, we might get some more dye back. So I have changed the front. I'm now going to call that the front. It would be nicer if this branch came this way a bit, but that will happen this year. All I've got to do is allow these bits to grow towards me and stop those growing quite so much. And then we will have a branch that comes this way a bit, and these bits can be allowed to thicken up a bit. But we've got, the negative space is quite good. You know, we've got a first branch, it's on a slight outside bend. We've then got our second branch on an outside bend. This trunk's getting quite gnarly now. You know, it's got a nice ribbed bark to it. We've got some serious scars up here where big chopping was done in its early days. Yeah, and then our apex is quite open. You know, we've got this what we class as a third branch and a back branch, and then the apex going up that way and then this way. So it could take this off completely and have a much thinner apex, but it's a maple. You know, they do like it. It is nice to see a nice domed apex on a maple, which is what we will have. Right, so there we go. That'll do. I'm fiddling around here. If I stay here much longer, there won't be any branches left. You get snipitis, I call it. It's snipitis. The scissors start going like this and you can't stop them. Anyway, that'll do. An initial trim prior to repotting, so that real crossing branch there. Anyway, I can stop that to take it off. The more you look, the more you find. And yeah, it's just a pre-repot trim, so that when that sap surge takes place, which is not going to be too long now, we're heading towards the end of February, sometime during March we will get bud break, I suspect, because the maples are usually the earliest, they're the first. And at bud break, as I start to see that nice reddy colour coming out, we will uproot it, disturb the roots, and in this case it will probably go back in the same pot. It's an unglazed pot, it's quite a nice one, and it's about the right size for the tree. It looks in proportion, there's a bit of depth to it, so yeah, we'll leave it at that. And I'll see, oh, and thanks to Xavier for mentioning me and including my beach video in his playlist of the smaller channels, which I have to accept I am. I haven't been going long. And unlike some people who started their bonsai channel flat, as I'll call it, I had a running start because I got lots of people from my orchid channel to pop over to the bonsai channel and subscribe. And I said, I don't mind if you never come back again because you're orchid people, you know. But several people came over and got interested and have got some bonsai now, so we have a few converts. We have a few that now, you know, started out as orchid people and have now got some bonsai. I shall get blamed for that, no doubt. See you next time. Thanks for dropping by.